Are there ways to acquire land patents right off the bat? And are there financing solutions in the private while maintaining the land patent? So I've done a lot of land patent videos, and I'm going to point you to them because it's a little bit of an extended answer. But every land patent has a grantor, and then at the end of the land patent it says and or it's assigns. To be an assign, you have to have an assigner. The generally accepted practice that you can go and claim a land patent, and this is the land patent, and you're right here, you're this little hole, and you're claiming this as your land patent is a ridiculous practice. So the better practice to me is to pull your owned land outright out of the county recorder's office and sit on some other land patent that is in fact allodial. Because by pulling land out of the county recorder, which it is your duty and obligation, you know, one of the things as a broker on the broker's test for a real estate broker, which blew my mind, opened my eyes in the early 2000s, was, are you required to record your property in the county recorder? And I got that wrong on the practice exam. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I started, like I always do, looking at all the different elements of what are the ramifications of not recording a property in the county recorder. What's going to happen? Well, then they're going to go get a copy of and this is the big discussion point that I do, and it's a good couple hours, but you can pull a property out of the county recorder, and the ramifications of that are taxes. So do as you will, but sitting on somebody else's land patent is the only way, because you're not going to get a land patent. No president is signing a land patent for you. You're not getting it as an assign. And how do you have a quote unquote land patent if you're going to record it in the county recorder, or if your property is still in the county recorder? There's no such thing. You're double-minded. The only way that you can be allodial is if your property, meaning your deed, is not deposited in a registry that they own. Because when you give your deed to them, they give you a certified copy back. It's not the deed. They keep the original. They own the property. They show you they own the property because you're going to pay them a tax now to have water, fire, and whatever else. So to be allodial and have a land patent is to remove yourself from the county recorder, and then you're sitting on some other guy's land patent that is allodial, but you have a deed in your hand, and you have the color of law of a historic title or a chain of title that shows you have a right to be there, but you're sitting on some other guy's land patent because you cannot get a land patent. I don't care what people are selling out there. Without the assigner, you cannot be an assign of some other land patent. Why don't you just say, pull it out of the county recorder, then you're truly allodial, because nobody's doing anything about that land patent anymore. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. So that's your property. It's not sitting on a county recorder. I've seen this where people call the sheriff. There was a guy, I did a land patent. I've learned a lot more about land patents since this guy, but God bless this guy, because he used a lot of color of law stuff with his recorded properties in the county, utilizing land patent protections, but they just didn't know what to do with him, and he outpapered them. He went after him in court and outpapered them, and they didn't want anything to do, so they left him alone. But it didn't mean he was allodial. He still had a property recorded in the county recorder's office. That means it's not yours. Okay. But the point is they had enough respect for him because he did some papering lawsuits. They had enough respect for him because he won his lawsuits with the county and the city. And it's not because he had an inherent right to a land patent, it's because he had possession. And that's where they were coming after him. But the point I'm trying to make is he kicked the kid out who was being disrespectful to his mom, who was living on a trailer on the property, kicked the kid out. Kid went to the sheriff's office. Sheriff said, I'm sorry, we don't have jurisdiction over that property. So they put something in their system, and that's really all we want. And so he did it right for himself. And that's why that land patent process that you hear from all these people out there are, you'll hear sometimes that they're good and they're getting remedy, or they're getting a foreclosure stop temporarily, or I got to tell you something, that's not the absolute end all remedy, because everybody's property is still recorded in the county and there's no assigner on these land patents. That means you don't hold a land patent. I can hold a certified copy of a land patent in my hand. What does that mean to me? I'm not, that doesn't mean I'm the holder. I'm not the assigned. So let's just pull it out of the county recorder and then sit on that land patent. And we do have people do that. And it is work. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of good things that come from that.